So here we are in my bedroom. Yes, when I was a 17-year-old kid. 15 kiddyweight close. Every mum's nightmare, would you not agree? I've still actually got some of the posters, and one of them's framed, and it's the Take It or Leave It one by Madness. So here I am in my bedroom back in the day, all scootered up. So my first scooter I bought, it was FA Cup Day 1980, and I went to this old guy's house after a good friend of mine, John Sharman, had already bought one off him. He bought an SX 150. Lucky bugger. And anyway, he said there was another one there, he said, but it wouldn't start. So there I do, I trundle along with my mum in the old Mazda car, and there it was. He said 25 quid, non-running, barrel twisted. Huh? Barrel twisted, 4-prong, no, barrel can't be twisted. Anyway, there I did, part of 25 quid. Bear in mind then I was most probably on about 15 quid a week. So there I did, got it home. Andrew Snell from down the road, he came round. We bumped it up and down the lane. We kept bumping it and bumping it. I took the exhaust off and we stripped it, and because actually I was trained as a mechanic at the time at college. So we stripped it and had a little play. It would not start. Bear in mind, same spark plug from God knows how long, and Bush. It started. So that was it. So wheeled that back into the garage and proceeded to strip it after me and Andrew decided to have a whiz up and down the lane and upset all the neighbours with no exhaust on. Anyway, that's how I ended up with this. Got no pictures of it though, none when I first got it, and that was a mid-metallic blue. Always remember the guy lifting it off the tarpaulin, and I'm like, wow. So anyway, it ended up as an LI 150 special, same as Jamie Hunt's, except this had a 175 conversion in it. Wasn't any faster back then, but it was a 175 conversion. So it was my very, very first scooter. And in this shot, you can see all the chrome that I'd already done. I hand painted a lot of stuff, as opposed to, you know, rattle can, aerosol back then. But my stepfather owned a chrome plating factory, so that's how I learned to chrome plate. All my own work, that is, when I was a 17-year-old kid. So there's one little orange clip on there for the air filter box, and that I pinched off Andrew Snell, who actually had a GP200 that actually never run. So that was my first ever scooter. Loved it. And then you can see all finished off with all the chrome you could imagine. The only thing that wasn't chrome was the frame. So there we have it. Second scooter. So while I still had this one, and this was turning into a right old mod machine. Oh, Phil Knights, by the way, another good buddy back in the day. So anyway, the next one, a guy had one in the back of his garage. Looked very similar to this shot now with me and Phil sitting on it. It was an LI 150. I paid 30 quid for that one, an LI 150 Series 2. Anyway, took it home, it started, rattled like frack it did. Anyway, took the head and barrel off, it was actually a 200. Woohoo, bloody hell, I was in 7th heaven. So that was actually my second scooter. I've had various scooters going across the ages in the 80s. I think my favourite would be my Indian, yes, I bought a brand spanking new Indian GP200. Box standard, of course I had to pimp it, started with some brass, then I went from the brass, so then I ended up having this crackle finish. You can see it in the state of disrepair there, due to the fact that lay shafts snapped when we were in Lincoln, back coming from Scarborough Scooter. So, story goes behind the actual spraying of this, right? This guy Charlie I knew quite well, had scars all over the show and pretty bad tattoos. Pretty hard man. And he was actually one of the Cray twins, believe it or not. And so he wasn't one of the Cray twins, don't get me wrong. He was in the gang of the trade twins. There's a new aspect. And I'm not restarting this video again. So he's in the Cray twins gang, and he came up here for a quiet life. I've seen him do some crazy things, chasing people with swords and all sorts, which is just like, gee whiz, if the guy... This one day, I've got to tell you, the guy that sprayed the scooter for me, I was round his house, he was getting on a bit, he had these swords, crossed swords in a shield in his hallway, and this guy come to the door to complain at me. He said, I've had enough of this guy, and because normally you think they'd bolted through, he actually whizzed it out and chased him down a road, just having a go at him. And I'm like, if that guy hadn't run fast enough. Anyway, poor old Charlie ended up back in prison. So that was the end last I saw of him for a few years, and then the next time I actually saw the man that sprayed this scooter was at court. I was a witness to a scooter that he bought on the behalf of his son. Funny enough, I ended up 10 years later owning that from the police station that still resided him. But anyway, he felt he was ripped off, went to court, this guy in the court who sold him the scooter said something about him not being married to the woman he was with, which he took great offence to. Andrew Dowson, who's probably verify this for me as well. We were standing in a waiting room and the guy came out and Charlie pretended to trip and nutted him and actually broke his nose and splattered. So that was the end of that court case. I was never asked to come back, and this other guy, Dave Martin, was whizzed off to hospital. It's a crazy guy. So that would be my other scooter. And whizzing back to the picture, there's Crispy and Phil on the way back from Lincoln, and sadly, my poor old stepfather had to travel 120 miles in the ute to pick us all up. So there we have it. That was my first few scooters. There was a few more in between, cut downs, SXs and stuff like that, and an LI. But that most probably was my favourite scooter of the 1980s. You can tell I'm bored, eh? Maybe I'll do the weather tomorrow. See you, folks.